What's good, YouTube? Venny here, bringing you my new Foot Champs custom tactics. I say Foot Champs tactics is the custom tactics I use all out through FIFA. Yeah, we're back at it. Something I haven't done for a while, make a YouTube video. If you haven't been seeing all last week, I've been banging out the stream, so trying to get back on my content sort of grind. I've been slacking hard. But before we get into the details of how this works and what's going on, if you're new around here, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, drop a comment, show some love. It helps the channel grow. But yeah, let's get into the reason why you clicked this video, and that is the custom tactics and what basically you might have actually hit it because of where we finished in the world. We hit 6th in the world in Foot Champs of 30-0. As you see there, Walking Globe 628. You'll see the Foot Champs highlights over the next coming days, and then also rewards on Thursday depending on what they drop. Apparently they're dropping something different due to obviously the coronavirus going on. We've got a new sort of system maybe for rewards. Hopefully, it gives us some life back into FIFA. But yeah, as I said, 6th in the world. Let's get into the custom tactics and probably the reason why you clicked on to the video. Just a heads up, my team is very pay to win, I know. So these tactics might work for you, they might not. Just be wary that because of the players I have, maybe sometimes the risk I take in game corresponds to the players I have, and actually might affect the way you guys play as well. So just be a little bit more wary. I'm going to give you certain tactics, and maybe one, if you've got a lower budget team, what I would probably go for. And then obviously if you've got a mega team, what I would go for. When I have a mega team, obviously as I mentioned, I can play with a lot more risk, a lot more high press, because the players can recover a lot quicker and they're just naturally more overpowered. And that's why we got into the first tactic. And my two tactics before we get into it are 4-2-3-1 and 4-4-2. Plan B and Plan A. Plan A is the 4-2-3-1 though. Like, this is what basically I play 99.9% of my games, and maybe I fit to a 4-4-2 for whatever reason it may be, just because I want to just change up the pattern, but I don't really do that too often. But yeah, balanced in attack and defense, width 5, depth 4, and same with attack and defense really. There players in the box 3 and 3. As I said, play quite aggressive with this sort of tactic, and you'll see why. Just naturally just trying to use the attacking players to press early on, and that's why I like the 4-2-3-1, because I can attack with these guys and also even sometimes take risks with my wing backs and have my CDMs covered. So that's why I like to play 4-2-3-1 a frequent amount of time. Let's get into the instructions, what we are using. Those stay back on the right back and left back, centre back stay the same, and same with the keeper. Stay back and cover centre on the DMs. Obviously, as I mentioned, I just want them to sort of just sit in the middle. Some of you might see in the highlights just the way I use them. I'm quite aggressive with them, but I try and move them as a unit across the pitch, quite frequently changing in between. Sometimes I will pull one foul out though, and that actually leaves a lot of a gap while the opponent can attack. Onto the ram and the lamb. When I'm looking at my ram and the lambs, just be wary. I am looking for just pure pace with this players. I'm not trying to, they don't need to be goal scorers, they just need to be pace and be able to cut the ball back and basically be effective as a wing player, old school wing player. That's why I've got Mane and I've got Venny. Mane, his goal cards worked exactly the same, but this 91 I've got his red pick, a solid option for sure. Getting a box though for crosses, and this is because sometimes when I play the ball down the wing and you've got that massive counter, you'll notice your lamb and your ram will do a run just back post, perfect for an RBX or an R1 square, depending on the console you're on, for a back post, sort of just finish across the goal. You'll probably see in the highlights a couple of them. But yeah, if you don't have get in the box, I think you need to trigger it, because if you don't trigger it, they will hide behind the fullback rather than advance to the front of the fullback, and sometimes it might be quite hard to trigger it. So I just have get in the box so it just naturally happens. I've got free roam on my middle cam, and this is because I've got no clue. I'll be real, I used a lot. I'll probably say 20 of my games was with balance and like how he comes, and then the last 10 I went free roam. Just wanted to test it out and sort of see how it works, and due to the way I've got my striker set up, it actually worked quite effective. And because of the free roam, obviously he fills in the positions what I needed, and he makes, like, he's not strict to that one sort of spot. A lot of the times he'll like go wide or come central. He might switch with a player, for example. And this is why I mentioned that, because I got drift wide and target man on my striker. And what this will do, obviously, when my R9 drifts wide to give an option to the wing play, my Neymar will fill it into that spot and vice versa. Drift wide and target man on the striker, and that is because, as I mentioned, I want the striker to drift wide. Very simple, is in the name. When I put the ball into Mane and Venny, sometimes I need that extra run forward, and that's why I have R9 drifting wide and give me a natural run, and then Vinicius and Neymar and Mane will fill in the spots what Ronaldo leaves. Also, when I'm like on the edge of the box, a lot of times he will drift slightly just off the centre back he's on, and will actually give him a chance to basically scoop turn it or fake shot or whatever you want to do, drag back, whatever your sort of system of way of beating the defender could be. So just sort of like positions him better for that, and target man on him, so he just naturally gives you an option to feet a lot of the times. Obviously you can trigger it. I find this a lot better than maybe like a free roam, false nine, and getting behind. For me, he's constantly doing that run, and I don't need it. But with target man, if you trigger the run, it does a natural just an advanced run. It's not different because of it's being on target man. But yeah, that is a tactic I would probably use. Is my favourite tactic, probably what I've used this weekend. But as I said, my team's very overpowered, and it allows me to be a little bit more aggressive in defense and attack. So we go on to the second variation of the 4-2-3-1, and this is probably, if you've got a bit of a lower budget, this is probably what I would say to use. Bear in mind, I didn't use overload ball slides. Maybe I would have used it the last 2 minutes of a game here and there, but the whole game I didn't use it due to the stamina reduce, and because I've got Neymar and Cam, sort of drives them out, and I still try and score goals all the way through in the games of Weekend League, because it's Weekend League, you know? But yeah, going into this is the one what I would say, maybe if you've got a lower budget, maybe like a 2 mil under team, maybe a little bit less depending on how you feel. If you feel confident that you can be aggressive in defence, then I would use that one. But this one is the more reserved one. Balanced 5 width, 3 depth, and the same into the attacking, sorry. And once again, it's basically exactly the same instructions. So stay back on the right back and left back, stay back and cover centre on the DMs. The middle cam is now on balanced, and just come back on them and get in the box for the Ram and Lamb. The reason I've gone to balance on this one is because, as I said, we've probably got a little bit of a lesser budget. So your players, you're not going to have the R9 and the Neymar, so the way they work isn't going to be the same. You might have goal Neymar, and he's unbelievable, but the strikers are very important with how the system works. So yeah, come back on that. The problem with this for me is the way you come out of defense. A lot of times, if you don't win the ball early on, you're going to be left on quite a deep sort of line of defense. And once you receive the ball, you will have that middle pass to the Neymar and R9, but your Ram and Lamb are so far back on the counter attack, you're not actually able to attack quick. And like I'm sure a lot of you in Weekend League just want to be attacking play. You don't want to be too defensive. You just want to try and enjoy it. So that's why you got to be very wary of it. Maybe try having come back and on defense on the 2 cams, because they naturally still stay on the cam and the striker. They naturally still stay quite high up, and maybe go like balance on the Ram and Lamb. Just try a different few things out. As I say, as always, just because these custom tactics work for me does not mean it will work for you. So you know how you play them best. So, for example, I've got drift wide and target man because it works perfect for me as how I want my striker to play. That might not mean that it's going to work for you. Maybe stay central is the way forward. Maybe no target man, maybe getting behind is what you want. All depends on your playstyle and what you want to achieve in game. But yeah, that is my 4-2-3-1 setups going into the 4-4-2. And this, if I go 4-4-2, something's wrong. I'm not scoring, I'm not making enough chances. I'm just trying to go all out attack. And for me, I like 4-4-2, but then other times I don't. It kind of flies to a 4-2-4. And I kind of like my team to be very structured and constantly give me options to feed and just trying to work like a nice passing goal. With 4-4-2, you've got to be very aggressive. I say, if you're a narrow player and you're trying to maybe adapt to the meta, and that is probably the 4-4-2 and the 4-2-3-1, I would say 4-4-2 is the way forward for you, because it's still very attacking and very ping-pongy sort of style you can play with it. 4-2-3-1, I would say, is a more slow style with that. But yeah, balanced, width 5, depth 6, possession 4 width, and 5 players in the box. As I said, for me 4-4-2 just flies like to our 4-2-4. So I've tried to narrow it in and be quite contradicting with what I probably have on my right mid and left mid because of the width. And I'll explain that a little bit further when we get into it. But yeah, high depth, 5 width. You don't have to probably have too high width in defense or attack because of the 4-4-2. It's actually got wide players because the right mid and left mid. Ram and Lamb in the 4-2-3-1. The reason I would probably keep it at 5 on attack and defense is because they're naturally. It just seems for me they're in a perfect situation. But with 4-4-2, I need them to come in just slightly tighter in certain situations. But yeah, stay back and right on the right back and left back. Keep it simple. Come back on all of your players basically. Come back on defense. Stay wide. Stay back, cover centre, stay back, cover centre on the right centre mid and left centre mid, and come back and stay wide on the left mid and the right mid. And the reason I put stay wide is because when I'm coming out of out of defence into attack, I usually play it through the middle. And when I have stay wide on the right mid and left mid, because people are using overload ball slide, the actual wing play is a lot more open to the right mid and left mid. So I can play that ball down the wing and then build my attack from the wing play forward. And then come back on defense and just basically balance on the strikers. As I said, for me 4-4-2 is like a plan B if something's not going right. I'm not really too, I would say, drilled with it, but I do sort of know what I want out of the formation. So yeah, come back on basically everyone, so it's still quite structured. If you're trying to pull the game back, this is what I would use as my basic tactic if I'm trying to bring the game back. So 7 width I think it is, and 9 depth, press after possession loss, possession offensive style, 4 width, and 6 players in the box I think, or 7 again. The reason why I've got it on possession and 4 width, as I said, 4-4-2 for me flies like 4-2-4, and with possession it gives me slightly easier just to get the ball from defense to attack and actually build up from there. If it really is going bad though, I will probably go fast build up, long ball, balance, really depending how I feel. Been enjoying fast build up though recently if I'm really trying to score some goals. 3-5-2 fast build up, it was crazy for me a lot of times when I'm trying to pull games back when I'm playing on my PlayStation. But yeah, we're here for the Xbox stuff anyway. Doesn't really matter what console you play though. These tactics will work as long as it suits to your style. But yeah, stay back on right back and left back, balanced and get in a box for the right mid and left mid. Stay back, cover centre, stay back, cover centre for your centre mids. If you really need goals, you could up these to balance and just allow them to be a free roam sort of more attacking, I would say, out of the two. Strikers, balance, just have them basic how they come. But yeah, that is probably, I know the 4-4-2 wasn't really too in depth. I would say, as I said, 99.9% of my game is based on the 4-2-3-1. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully it gives you a little bit more knowledge on how I'm working with the 4-2-3 and what I'm actually sort of thinking about when I'm using these different tactics. Hopefully trying to go hard on all the content now. As I said, I'm streaming a lot more. All the descriptions for my stuff will be down below. Streaming a lot more. I'm actually making a second channel as well, where I'm hoping to do daily uploads just where I play different games, because with FIFA, obviously, I would say it's kind of quieting down at the moment. Obviously, it depends what comes out this week. Just trying to enjoy playing some games. Obviously, we've got a lot going on in the world just outside of gaming. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you tuning in. Peace.